So starting to focus on your breath, on your inhales and your exhales. Maybe focus on how the air feels going into your body. How it feels going from your nose to the back of your throat, your chest, abdomen. With every exhale, allow your body to relax and settle into your space. Feeling each breath travel throughout your body. Almost like water flows, it's flowing through your body. Like energy flowing through your body. It's touching each muscle, each tendon. And as it flows, it energizes, it releases any tension that you might be holding. And start to make your breaths expand. Make them intentional. Breathing in big belly breaths and releasing those breaths. Allowing your inhales and your exhales to be equal duration. And as this energy flows through your body, you notice that the energy expands outward in this room. Maybe it mingles with the energy, other people's energy. It expands out of your room, whatever room that you're in, out in nature. To the grass, the dirt, the trees, the leaves. And there's this ebb and flow of energy with nature, with yourself, energizing and relaxing and releasing. And this energy begins to cradle you, begins to warm your body. We'll start to come back to our natural breaths. Maybe this energy will take you through, will empower you through the 60-minute flow today. If you'd like to think about an intention to carry through your practice today, it could be a word or a phrase, a thought, something that you're working on, something that will ground you. And we'll reach our hands overhead, giving ourselves a full body stretch. Maybe pointing and flexing your toes. And when you're ready, no rush at all, we'll come into a seated position. So on your own time, if it feels good, you can sit on something if that feels better. We'll just roll our shoulders back, releasing our shoulders away from our ears. Bring your hands overhead, breathing in. And then breathing out, we're going to twist to the right, looking over our right shoulder. Breathing in length. Breathing out, twist. And then reaching overhead again, breathing in. And then breathing out, twisting to the other side. And then breathing in, bring your hands overhead again, and maybe giving yourself a little baby back bend. Bring your chest up and back. And let's interlace our hands, popping our palms up to the ceiling. And we're going to round our back, bring your hands towards the front. And then up, breathing in. And then rounding out. And again, breathing in. One more time, rounding out. Then releasing our hands and finding our way to a tabletop position. Let's open up our fingers, really feeling the palms of our hands making contact with the earth. And let's do a couple cat-cows here. So dipping our belly button down, raising our head up, breathing in. And then breathing out, rounding your back, releasing your lower back, releasing your shoulders and your neck. Again, breathing in, arching your back. And then breathing out. Bringing our toes together, knees out. We're just going to come down into child's pose. Maybe create a little movement here, rocking your hips from right to left. Coming back to your breath. And then we're going to come back up into tabletop. And then we're going to come into plank. So whatever plank looks like for you, whatever feels good on your body, on your knees or all the way up. And then we're going to push ourselves up into downward facing dog. Be pedaling out, releasing your neck, feeling every single finger making contact with your mat. And let's come up on our toes, pivoting our heels to the right and then lowering your heels down, pushing your left hand into the mat. And then coming up on your toes again and pivoting to the left. And then releasing your heels down to the mat.
And then coming up on your heels again and then releasing them down to the mat center. And then we're going to come back to tabletop. Coming back into child's pose just briefly. It's almost going to be like a springboard. We're going to come out of child's pose and then we're going to come up into this dolphin-like pose. So our feet are going to come up, toes, big toes are together, head's high, chest is high. And then we're going to come back into child's pose. Making this flow slow and deliberate. Connecting it with your breath. So just coming back and forth with your own breath, your own time. Almost like a slow wave in the ocean. A powerful, slow wave. And then we'll do one more set of these. We'll end up in that dolphin-like. And then we're going to come down, releasing our feet, releasing your forehead, rocking back and forth. Bringing your hands to the side of your head and then pushing yourself up into Sphinx pose. And then releasing down. Coming back up. And then releasing down. We're going to come up into Cobra all the way up. And then we're going to release down, allowing your head to make contact last. And then one more time up. And then push yourself up into downward facing dog. Coming up on your tippy toes and intentionally walking yourself to the front of the mat. Very slow and intentionally. Feeling each foot making contact with the mat with each step. In your first forward fold, so bending your knees, feeling your belly resting on your thighs. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows and swinging from right to left. And then let's roll all the way up to standing. Hands are going to come overhead. Palms are going to come together to heart center. And then by your side, rolling your shoulders back into Tadasana, mountain pose. Activating your core. And just feeling the power, the strength in this pose. Feeling your energy running through your whole body. And we're going to bring our hands overhead again. And then release your right arm down, coming up and over to the right side. Continuing to activate your core here and maybe peeling your shoulder open just a little bit so your heart is shining brightly to the sky. And then both arms up overhead, breathing in. And then breathe out, left arm comes down, and then bring yourself up and over to the left side.
And then bring both arms up overhead. And then we're going to bring our hands behind our back. So you can bring your fingertips so they're facing up if you like, or you can face them down, whatever feels good for you. If you want to take it a step further, you can go into prayer, like that, the prayer behind your back. So whatever feels good for you today. And then just bring your shoulders back a little bit if you can, if that feels good. Chest is up, gaze is up. And then release. Ooh, rolling our shoulders back, bringing them up overhead. And then we'll come into a forward fold. And then let's come into a halfway lift. Really making your spine strong. And then forward fold. Planting your hands and walking your feet back into your downward facing dog. And then let's bring our right leg up, bending your knee into a three-legged dog. Really feeling that opening in your hips. And let's bring knee to nose, rounding our spine, and then shoot that leg back up. Again, knee to nose, and then shoot your leg up. And then we're going to swing our foot in between our hands. You can use blocks here. Where's my other block? Coming up into a runner's lunge, chest high. Breathing in, releasing out. And then let's lower your left knee down to the mat, coming up into a low lunge, feeling your strength here. Maybe let's move a little bit, rocking back and forth until we find that nice spot. Bringing your hands overhead, breathing in, releasing out. Let's twist to the left, opening up our arms. Maybe your gaze follows your left hand. And then bring both hands up overhead. And let's twist to the right, opening up to the right. Maybe your gaze follows your right hand. And then let's come forward. Hands are going to come overhead. You're going to bring your palms together and let's come into a reverse prayer here. So it's as if your hands are cradling your head, chest is up. Releasing that, bringing your hands to the inside of our foot and heel toeing your right foot to the edge of the mat. Coming into lizard. So whatever lizard looks like for you, if you'd like to come on your forearms, if you'd like to stay up high, if you'd like to come on a block, that's perfect. And you can either stay here or you can twist looking over your right shoulder. You can either stay here or you can grab your back foot. Oh, good. That's nice.
Can't twist, but I can.
No, that's good. And then release your foot down, bringing both hands to the inside. And we're going to swing ourselves up into a three-legged dog briefly. And then bring your foot back down to the mat. Nice job.
And then let's bring our left foot up to the sky in a three-legged dog on the other side, bending our knee. And then let's bring knee to nose, rounding the back. And then shooting that leg back up. Again, rounding the back, knee to nose. Then shooting your leg up. One more time, knee to nose. Shooting it up. And then we're going to swing our foot in between our hands. Again, grabbing your blocks, if that feels good. Into your runner's lunge. Relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Feeling the energy, the strength in your legs, your core. And then releasing your right knee down. And then maybe creating a little rocking movement, finding that nice spot where you're sinking down comfortably into this pose. And then bringing your arms up overhead. And then let's twist to the right, opening up. And then bringing your arms up overhead again. Twisting to the left. And then bringing your arms up overhead again. We're going to bring our hands behind our back this time, interlacing your hands and maybe bending your elbows a little bit and bringing your hands away from your body, squeezing your shoulder blades together, activating your core. Releasing that, bring your hands inside, your foot and heel toeing, your foot to the edge of the mat. In your lizard, you can stay here or you can twist to the left, looking over your left shoulder. You can stay here, you can grab your back foot. And then let's release that foot if you're holding it. Bringing your hands, both hands to the mat, and we're going to swing ourselves up into a three-legged dog. Just briefly, one breath, and then release your foot down to the mat. Taking a couple breaths here. And then walking your hands slow and deliberately to your feet. So we're at the back of our mat. And then we're going to bend our left leg and then twist, bringing our right hand up to the sky or to your waist. And then release that hand down to the mat, bending our right knee, and then twisting to the left, bringing our left arm up. And then releasing down, maybe grabbing your big toes as you bring your head further, closer to the mat, elbows out. And then release that, pushing your feet into your mat as you rise up to standing. Rolling your shoulders back. Bring your hands up overhead and then to heart center. We're going to come into a balancing pose here. And we'll come into our figure four. Really like figure four because it really opens up the hips a little bit. So we're going to stabilize our right foot. And then let's bring our left leg up to a 90-degree angle. And then cross it over our right thigh. Maybe your hands come to heart center. And then we're going to bring ourselves down as if we're coming into chair. You can always leave your feet on the ground, both of them, or use the wall. You can always use the wall too. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty good though. Pretty good. And if you'd like, you can bring yourself all the way to your legs. And then maybe your hands come to the mat. And then we're going to roll up, releasing our foot down as we step forward. Whew. And if you have your blocks handy, we're going to come into airplane, but we're going to hold on to our blocks, bringing our right foot up, into a supported airplane. And then we'll come back up, bringing our right foot to our left. And then we're going to do our figure four on the other side. So feeling the strength, stability in your right foot, maybe picking up all 5 toes and then letting them come back down to the mat one at a time. Really activating your core here. Bringing your right leg up. No, I think it's the right, right? I think it was right. I think we did the left the last time.
Yeah, so now we're stabilizing our left, okay?
Yes.
You're right.
Oof, I'm usually wrong, so that's good that I'm right this time. And then crossing our ankle over our thigh. Maybe your hands come into heart center. And then lowering down into your chair, whatever degree feels good for you. Ooh. Really finding your focal point. Moving your body slowly and intentionally. Coming back up to standing. Stepping forward. Getting your blocks ready for your supported airplane. And then bringing your left foot down. Bringing your feet to the edge of your mat here. And then we're going to sink our bodies down into Malasana. You can use blocks to sit on. This was my favorite pregnant pose.
I'm doing it at home with the blocks.
Nice. Good. And then bringing our hands back to the mat, pushing ourselves up into this wide-legged forward fold. And then let's heel toe our feet to hip width apart. We're going to roll ourselves all the way up into standing. Hands are going to come overhead. We're going to step our right foot back into warrior one. And then transition into warrior two. And let's straighten out our front leg. We're going to come into triangle. So shooting your right hip out and reaching as far as you can, and then releasing your hand either to a block, your shin, or the mat. And then using your strength to come back up into warrior two. And then flip your front palm, reaching forward, and we're going to reverse our warrior to the back. There you go. Nice. And then we're going to come back into warrior two. We're going to straighten out that front leg again. And we're going to pivot so our hips are facing the front. And maybe shorten your stance a little bit. Both feet are facing the front. Let's breathe in, making ourselves as tall as we can. And then we're going to fold over into pyramid. And let's bring our right foot up to meet the left. Forward fold. Pushing our feet into the mat as we roll on up into standing. Hands are going to come overhead. Bringing our left foot back into warrior one. And then transitioning into warrior two. Feeling the strength in your legs, feeling that flow of energy running through your body. Straightening out your front leg as we transition into triangle. So shooting out your left hip, reaching as far as you can forward, and then releasing down. And then using your strength to come back up into warrior two. Flipping your front palm as we come into reverse warrior. And then coming back into warrior two. We're going to straighten our front leg again, pivoting our hips towards the front, bringing our toes, both toes facing the front, and then shorten our stance a little bit, making our torso, making our whole body as tall as we can. And when we think we can't get any taller, we're going to hinge over into our pyramid.
And then bringing your left foot to meet the right in your forward fold. Planting your hands and walking or into plank. Just like that flow of energy that that sequence that we did in the beginning, we're going to flow through, bringing ourselves up into downward facing dog. Breathing in and then back into plank. Breathing out. Breathing in to down dog. And then breathing out. Do it on your own breath, your own time. We'll do one more round, ending up in plank. And then bringing our knees down. Big toes come together, knees wide as we sink down into our child's pose. Maybe walking your hands a little bit further towards the front of your mat. And then coming back up into tabletop. We're just going to do a little bit of a tabletop twist here. So bring your right arm up to the sky and then bringing it under, releasing your shoulder and then your head. And either walking your left hand towards the front of your mat, or you can come into a half bind, bringing your hand behind your back. So whatever feels good. And then let's push our hands into the mat, or hand into the mat as we come up into a counter stretch. Bring our right arm up to the sky and then releasing it down. Let's just do a couple cat-cow here. Breathing in, chest comes up, head comes up, and then breathing out, rounding the spine. You can do another one, breathing in, and then breathing out. Coming back to a neutral spine. Left arm comes up to the sky and then comes under your right, releasing your shoulder and then your head. And then whatever you did with your arm on the other side, you should probably do it on this side. And then pushing yourself up with your right hand as you come into a counter stretch on this side. And then releasing your hand down to the mat. We're going to walk ourselves to the front of the mat, keeping your hips up into an inchworm. You can release your chin, your chest, or stack your hands and use your hands as a pillow here.
And then we're going to come onto our bellies. You can go onto your back.
Just rock your forehead from right to left. We're going to bring our hands to the side of our chest, and we're going to come up into Cobra. So breathing in, Cobra.
You can come up into bridge pose if you like, or you can just lay there. Okay. And then releasing back down.
One more time, up into bridge.
And then releasing down.
We're going to flip ourselves over. So we're laying flat on the mat. Knees are going to come up. You can have a block handy if you'd like. You can make this, we're going to come into bridge, so you can make this a restorative bridge pose or an active bridge pose, whatever you like. So bringing your feet as close, the backs of your feet as close to your bottom as possible. And before we do this, let's bring our pelvis up just a little bit and then releasing very slowly. So your whole back is making contact with the mat. Melting your shoulders down into the mat. So we're going to breathe in, release out on a sigh. And then our next breath in, breathing in, our hips are going to come up towards the sky. And if you would like a restorative bridge, you can bring your block under your sacrum, your lower back. And if you're not doing restorative, you can lower down. If you are, you can just stay here, releasing your lower back into this pose, melting. And then if you're doing active bridge, you're going to breathe in, bringing your hips up to the sky. Maybe interlacing your hands under your body this time. Shimmying your shoulder blades together. Maybe you bring yourself up just a little bit more. And then release one vertebrae at a time, all the way down to the mat. And then if you have a block, let's release the block and then release ourselves all the way down to the mat. Let's bring our knees to our chest and rock yourself back and forth. You can come into happy baby also, if that feels good. We're going to keep our right knee to our chest as we lower our left foot to the mat. Or you can extend your leg all the way down to the mat, your left leg all the way down to the mat. So holding your knee to your chest. Flexing your right foot. We're going to bring our right foot up to the sky, interlacing your hands behind your right leg. And maybe inching your hands up to where it feels comfortable. Let's do a little flex point with our right foot. And then we're going to open up our right leg to the side. So extending it to the side. Nice. Use your hands to support your leg or a block. And either energetically or physically pushing your left hip into the earth. And then we're going to bring our leg, crossing it over our body, and not crossing it too much, crossing it so our right hip is still making contact with the mat. Really stretching out your IT band here. You should feel something. This one always hurts me. My IT band is always so tight. It's this right here, this, yeah. And then coming back to center, flexing your foot, and then lowering your leg very mindfully and slowly down to the mat. Shaking your leg out. And then when you're ready, bringing your left knee to your chest, maybe bending your right knee so it's so your foot is making contact with the mat. Or if it feels better extended, it's totally up to you. And then straightening out your left leg, interlacing your hands behind your left leg, and maybe inching your hands up a little bit to where it feels comfortable, where you feel that little bit of stretch, the sensation. And let's just do a little flex point. And then open up your leg to the left side, using your hands to prop your leg up so it's not falling. Nice use of your block. That's good. And then crossing your leg over and trying to keep your left hip making contact with the mat. And then bringing your leg up to the sky and then lowering it down very slowly and mindfully. Shaking your leg out. Bringing both feet, the bottoms of your feet to the mat so your knees are bent. And then we're just going to do a recline pigeon on each side. So bending your knee, crossing your right ankle over your left thigh. And then maybe pushing your right knee towards the front of your mat. So you feel that sensation in your hip crease. And then you can either stay here or you can start bringing your left knee towards your chest, interlacing your hands behind your knee, behind your thigh. You can stay here. You can start to push your right knee towards the front of your mat with your elbow as you pull your left knee towards your chest. So giving you that counter stretch, that's feeling it behind your thigh. This is great for your sciatica. And then releasing that. Bringing both knees to our chest and allowing your knees to fall over to the left side, opening up your arms into a T and maybe looking over towards your right hand. In a twist. We're twisting out all that energy that we don't want or need anymore. And then coming back to center, bringing your knees up, the bottoms of your feet onto the mat. Then we're going to do pigeon, recline pigeon on the other side. So bringing your left ankle to your right thigh. And then pushing energetically or physically your left knee towards the front of your mat. Creating space in your hips. And you could either stay here or start to bring your right knee and left foot towards your chest, interlacing your hands behind your right thigh. And you can either stay here or start to push your left knee away from your body as you pull your right knee towards your body. And let's release our foot, both feet down to the mat. And then bring your knees to your chest and allow them to fall over to the right side. And a twist. Arms come out into a T, looking over your left shoulder towards your left hand. And then we'll come back to center. And you have about 5 breaths to get ready for Shavasana. So if there's any poses, if you like to put on any layers or socks, whatever you need to get yourself ready. If you'd like another pillow or blanket. And wherever you feel the most comfortable, either seated or on your back, start to settle in to your space. Maybe coming back to your intention or your focus, coming back to your breath, coming back to that flow of energy through your body. Feeling that energy flow like a river through your body and relaxing, relieving any tension or stress that you might still be holding. Feeling the ebb and flow with your energy and nature.
allowing that energy to cradle you. Shavasana. So starting to feel warmth and then in the bottoms of your feet and the palms of your hands. Bringing awareness back into your body. When you're ready, maybe bring your hands overhead and giving yourself a full body stretch. And when you're ready, maybe rolling over to your favorite side. And taking a couple breaths here. And when you're ready, no rush at all, pushing yourself into a seated, comfortable seated position. Eyes closed or at a soft gaze. Bring your hands to heart center. Coming back to our intention. And maybe taking this energy that we've created today and sending it out to a person or a group of people who might need it. Let's breathe in together. And then breathing out, sending that energy out to the universe. Sending gratitude out for everyone sharing their energy online and in the studio. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You did great. Nice modifications.
It feels so good. I was sitting like literally on the floor like wrapping presents for hours yesterday.
Oh my
because
goodness.
My sister-in-law is getting married next weekend, and then like I'm gonna make Christmas cookies for everyone. So I was like, this is my time, and my hair's.
Is this your first baby?
Yeah. Yes, we're having a boy.
Yay.
In March.
Oh,
I'm very excited.
That is very exciting.
I have two boys.
I do too. I have two boys.
You have two boys?
Yep.
Aren't they the best?
They are